Welcome to the video lecture on financial instruments and markets. In this chapter, we are going to learn about understanding of money, liquidity and balance sheet of central bank. The topics covered in this chapter are money and liquidity of central bank, Indian velocity and economic development, commercial banks and central banks, assets and liabilities of a typical central bank balance sheet, bank reserves and assets. Money and liquidity of central bank. The monetary policy of the central bank is based on the quantity theory of money, which states that the price level in a country depends directly upon the volume of money supply. The tacit assumption of the quantity theory is that expansion and contraction of the economy is directly related to the expansion and contraction of prices. As explained already, if it is assumed that the value of total output of goods and services is PQ consists of the value only of final goods and services, that is Y, then the equation will be Y equal to Y by M, PQ by M. Indian velocity and economic development. Twin problems faced by government. First problem is economic development. It possesses the need to secure finance for development. And the second problem is stable economic condition. It stresses the necessity to control inflationary rise in prices. Both these objectives are of equal importance, and hence the government of a developing country such as in India, the government has to increase the supply of money and at the same time attempt to control it also. Commercial banks and central banks. A commercial bank is a type of financial institution that accepts deposits, offers checking account services, makes various loans, and offers basic financial products like certificates of deposit and savings accounts to individuals and small businesses. A commercial bank is where most people do their banking as opposed to an investment bank. Commercial banks make money by providing loans and earning interest income from those loans. Central banks. A central bank is a financial institution given privileged control over the production and distribution of money and credit for a nation or a group of nations. In modern economies, the central bank is usually responsible for the formulation of monetary policy and the regulation of member banks. Central banks are inherently non-market based or even anti-competitive institutions. Although some are nationalized, many central banks are not government agencies. Assets and liabilities of a typical central bank balance sheet. In asset sides, there will be net foreign assets, credits to bank, credit to government, and securities like bought outright and held under repos. In liabilities, there will be bank reserves like required reserves, working balances, and government deposits, currency in circulation, and residual. In the liabilities, it is important to distinguish the reserves from rest of the type of reserves commonly found in the corporate or bank balance sheets. Bank reserves. The first distinction. The three types of reserve requirements that are obtaining in a central bank operations are required reserves. The required reserves arise on account of statutory obligation towards the nation or economy to which the bank is functioning as a central bank. They are purely statutory in nature, the maintenance of which is the basic necessity without which the central bank has no meaningful existence. Settlement balances. The settlement requirements of reserves arise on account of exchange transactions that takes place in a various foreign currencies that have a future date for settlement, thus necessitating a provision thereof. Excess reserves. These reserves do appear in the balance sheets of a central bank along with other reserves of statutory nature. The soundness of a central banking can also be measured by the amount of excess reserves in comparison to the statutory reserves it maintains. Apart from the above simple distinctions, there are certain subtle differences which need to be appreciated in the context of a central bank reserve liabilities. Subtle distinctions. Borrowed reserves through discount window borrowing. When discount is made for a future liability, borrowing is resorted to technically, thus creating a provision for borrowed reserves. Non-borrowed reserves. These may be created on account of two happenings in the central banking operation of a country, namely open market operations in the treasury market or bonds market and autonomous liquidity position. Autonomous liquidity position could arise on account of intrinsic strength or due to the extra cautious nature of the central bank which is under. Why do the reserve requirements arise? The reserve requirements are basically the products of interest rate buffer function. This is to cushion the interest rate fluctuations in the bank rate. Liquidity management function. The liquidity management invariably has risk element needing the provisioning. Monetary control function. Monetary control operations may involve some loss incurring steps to be initiated for some temporary time gap necessitating a provision thereof. Prudential or capital control function. In the 90s, prudential capital controlling functions were undertaken by the central banks all through the world. This obviously needed an extra reserve provisioning commensurate with the dimension of the operation. Basic definitions. Autonomous liquidity position. It is called when there is a situation beyond the control of the central bank. It is nothing but the incremental or increase in foreign assets plus the increase in credit to the government minus the deposits of the government minus the net increase in currency issued and the increase in the residual balances. Net policy position is simply the sum of credits to bank and the securities held. Net liquidity position is also known as structural surplus or shortage is nothing but the difference between the autonomous position and the demand for the reserves. Asset side. The asset side is fairly easy to understand as the terms like net foreign assets, credit to banks and credit to government are quite common in usage. As far as the securities are concerned, bought outright is self-explanatory and needs no eliciting. However, repos is a term denoting securities under a contract of repurchase. That's all for this chapter. Thank you.